Welcome out to the show, guys. This is Studio 321. This is your podcast host, Eddie B. So I know everybody's been watching the NFL playoffs. Man, it's kind of frustrating. You know, it doesn't even matter who you want to win these games, but can the NFL please do something? Look, think about this, okay? Every game for the last at least couple years, there's been major controversies. This play was wrong. That play was wrong. People are starting to think that the refs are playing games with the calls. And look, I'm usually a skeptic on that kind of stuff. I like to believe in people sometimes. So I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But think about this, man. Number one, gambling now in sports betting has become legal. So we're talking about throwing billions and billions of dollars into the mix, okay? There's a lot riding on this stuff now. Number two, why are we using an archaic system for the most advanced game in the world? I mean, the NFL has more money. I was reading an article the other day about this. They have more money than all other sports combined, okay? So are you telling me that we can't get a better system going to make some of these close calls? Yeah, we got the review system, but I mean, you got the chain gang, really? You got guys with chains out there. I mean, that's been a system for the last 30 years. Let's do something different. How about this? How about we take a little bit of that money, okay? You map the whole fields, all the fields out on GPS. You put microchips in the ground, which this stuff is not hard. It sounds complicated, but it's not at all. Not nowadays. You put three or four microchips in the ball. Won't change the weight. Won't change nothing about the ball. They're tiny little slivers. One in the tip, one in the back of the ball, one on each side. That way, first down disputes. Where did the ball actually end up? All this stuff, it can easily be solved. We don't have to go through this stuff anymore now. Would it take a little bit of nostalgia away from the game? Yes. Everybody loves when the chain gang comes out with the chains and they stretch it out and first down or not and all that stuff. But the truth is, the game is moving beyond that. And they need to go ahead and move beyond that as well. People, they bet huge money on this stuff. It's important. The calls need to be made right because, use boxing as the example of that. What happened when everybody started thinking that boxing was corrupt? Well, boxing kind of fell off, started dying off. People got to believe in the sport. You know what I'm saying? They got to believe everything is down the line. So I think the one way to do that is let's invest some money into some of these systems that judge these games, because just like the Kansas City Bills game, there were several calls in that game that could have changed the entire game. But it's not even that particular game. It's all year long. You hear it everywhere out of sports fans. Now, you've always got your guys that say, "Oh, this team cheated, that team cheated," but it's a little different now. It seems like every game, and again, people are betting on this now. They're demanding more. They're demanding more precision because it's not just a laugh it off anymore. You're winning and losing fortunes on this stuff. I know Roger Goodell could easily, take a, several $1 million, put it into a program, and let's get this all advanced up. That way we can get some legitimate calls. You don't have to change the whole thing. Yeah, you can do you could test a call and all that nostalgia can pretty much stay in place. But this would be precise. It would be for, calls that are very tough to make. And maybe you only make some rules where you only get a couple of them a game or whatever. But the point is, we got to do something, man. We're operating the most archaic system with the most advanced game in the world now, which people are allowed to gamble on. And again, once that started, the trust issue went out the window because, as we've seen in the past, People do game the system. I'm not saying refs are crooked, but what I'm saying is, well, actually, I'm not saying that they're not either. Okay, so it would just be better to know, hey, this ball is tracked on GPS, and it is what it is now. The hell, those systems can go like to a thousandth of an inch. That'd be nice. That'd be nice to have on a 4th and 1 when the game's tied or you're down by 3 and there's a minute left in the game. You're about in field goal range. It was 4th and 1, and you try to quarterback sneak it, and the guy gets dogpiled, and nobody knows where the ball actually landed. Well, you jump on the GPS, you back up the tracking of it, and there you go. Now you know exactly where the ball landed. Is it first down? Did he get a chance to win the game, or is the game over? And I just think it would bring confidence. It would quiet a lot of the naysayers, because that's all I hear nowadays. I work in the bar business. I'm around hundreds of sports fans. And it's not on, obviously there's been a lot of hype about the Kansas City stuff, but truthfully, I hear it all the time, and you see it all the time. Very controversial calls that, even after the refs review it and all this, people are like, nah. And sometimes they're right. And it would just be nice to have a backup to say, hey, we ran it through the whatever GPS system. This is the correct call. That way, it can kind of put some of that to rest. With the amount of competition and the amount of games played, they're doing 17 games now. We got to have a better system. Now think about this for a second. Between the year 2000 and 2024, 24% of all the games were decided by 3 points or less. Okay? Now, again, 272 games played in 2024, 24% of that. That's a lot of close games. And, we have to have a better system to decide these games, especially when there's a lot of money on the line. Over the last so many years, they've changed a lot of rules in the NFL. I think it was 2011 is when they changed the rules for hitting the quarterback. And then I think it was 2018 they really started enforcing those strict penalties for, sacking the quarterback, driving them into the ground, basically unnecessary roughness on the quarterbacks. Let's see, 2022, they changed the overtime rules to, ensure both teams had possession of the ball. 2021, they expanded the jersey number options. That's not a big deal, but modified kickoff procedures in 2024, and they banned the hip drop tackle in 2024. So they've made a lot of changes to the game recently. I'm not a big fan of the way they changed the kickoff procedure. I think it's kind of lame and in my opinion, but that's just me. But the point is, they've made a lot of changes to the game, and yet they leave a system in place of reffing and judging these super close calls that to me it's way outdated. You know what I mean? I think they need to switch that around and bring that up to date, just like they're doing everything else. I believe they've made a lot of these changes in the NFL to make the game more high scoring, more pro offense. Because obviously when there's high scoring, going back and forth keeps the game exciting, and I understand that. That's show business. That's part of it. But if you're going to allow gambling on these sports, the people need confidence that the calls are the correct calls, and the way to do that is to update these systems. But okay, guys, thanks. If you liked my video, please like and subscribe. This is Eddie from Studio 321. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.